The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on. I think he missed the complete. That is crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield before. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
It's the thrill of the chase, and last week none of the chasers could find victory lane. But Jordan Hightower continued his hot streak as he takes his second win late in this Grand National season. Tonight it's on. One last chance to grab the cup as four contenders prepare for battle now. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the AdvoCare We Build Champions 150 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. with the Premier Racing League Coastal Safety Auditors Grand National Series. Good evening, everyone. Sam can't be with us tonight. He's on assignment, but I am Sean Ambrose, and hanging out in the booth with me tonight, you know him, you love him, you've hung on to his every word this season when he's been with us, Michael Smitty Smith. In the GSRC virtual production truck, twisted and tweaking the dials, Joe Candy Cat Peak. Our man, Dougie Beard, handling the cameras tonight in amazing Technicolor, streamed into your home through the worldwide wonder of the internet. Smitty, hot Atlanta, baby. I already stopped off at this morning, stopped off at Gladys Knight and Ron's Chicken and Waffles downtown, and now made my way over the track, got a full belly and ready to take in this action here tonight for this championship. We're gonna crown a champ this evening, and well, we've got 3 guys really in the hunt. We've got a 4th one who's got a shot, but we'll see. But I'll tell you what, let's get started about the track. Hot Atlanta, what a facility.
No, as you say, Hot Atlanta, this place is kind of unique. It may be one of those cookie cutter mile-and-a-half tracks, but this place's modern configuration feels a little bit more open with smoother arcs than, say, a place like Texas. She's fast, too. We're going to be in the 190 mile an hour range going into these corners with a couple of different lines to choose from as these tires wear out, with these guys running the very bottom and maybe a lane up as we go around. But we won't be seeing anybody up by the wall like we do in real life. It just doesn't quite happen here on the service that way. We'll be going 98 laps around here tonight with track temps around 91 degrees and a clear sky, so grip's going to be at a premium for these guys. And I expect a couple of pit stops, as these guys are going to want to try and keep fresh skins underneath them. And at 60% fuel, you're going to have to try to keep an eye on that fuel deal. It's not going to be 100% doable on one stop. We will be keeping an eye out, though. We did go green. Things will get interesting for some long runs. But I'll tell you what, I'm really excited about this race. We've had a championship battles all the way down here. Now we got 3 primary guys, and they are not separated by much.
Well, as I do the math and look at that pit window of about 30 to 33 laps, and we have a 98 lap race, expect to see a little bit of drafting, a little bit of maybe fuel saving at times. If we go under green flag conditions, it will get exciting. I think when you get that first pit stop, when you take it's probably going to be critical to set yourself up for the end of the race, the long run. So, but Smitty, right now, we've got, like I said a moment ago, we've got 3 of our chasers finishing in the top 10 last week. And, well, Jake Wright had some bad luck. He finds himself kind of behind the 8 ball tonight. He's going to need, like I said, he's going to need a little bit of luck to get this done. I don't think he can get it done on skill alone. Let's look at that championship battle real quick and those points. Again, we've got 4 contenders here, and we've had this going since the round of 12. Now we are down to the round of 4. We've already knocked out Phoenix, already knocked out Homestead. We're here at Atlanta, and it's Jeff Ward up there on top. Brian Yazik just 2 points behind Tommy Ryan, 5 points behind. Now Jake Wright sitting 28 points back. Listen, we've got right now we have 28 cars in attendance. And I don't know if we have a couple more show up. The best thing that could happen for Wright was that all 3 of the guys in front of him didn't start. So I think it's going to look like mathematically pretty impossible for Jake to catch up tonight. But let's talk a little bit about how we got here and the battle amongst those 3 that we have still at the top there, Smitty.
No, absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be a tough ask for Jake Wright. Maybe even no dice for him, just because of the way the math works out. Just not enough drivers in the field, it looks like, and too big of a deficit to make up. But yeah, as you say, Jeff Ward, Brian Yazik, Tommy Ryan, 5 points separating the trio there. These guys have been the cream of the crop. Jeff Ward has won more races than anybody else this season. He's been the guy to beat on many different occasions. Doesn't have as many starts as some of the other guys, but you got people like Brian Yazik, who late in the season here has really come on strong. And then Tommy Ryan, who is actually strongest, I thought, in the earlier part of the season. But the entire group of them have really shined here as we come through the chase. Now at the final race, Jeff Ward leading Brian Yazik by just 2 points. Tommy Ryan third, 5 behind. Those 3 guys are the ones we're going to be watching we're getting ready to go qualifying here in just a couple of seconds. Guys starting to roll out. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here. And tell you what, the best way to start your championship hunt is to put it on pole. And I'm looking at the lap times right now, Sean, from practice. And the fastest lap time in practice came from a non-chaser, J.D. Laird, actually 28.799 fastest of any of the practice guys, and the only driver to make it into the spot 7 mark. However, looking on down this thing, 20-plus drivers inside of just 2/10 around here. This fixed setup these guys are running, these guys have figured out. Look, right up by the fence. Laird actually gets in the fence as sparks fly, trying to really open up the lines.
He does, and I love the way the cars are set up on this track. They almost look like they crab a little bit because of the banking here. You set that right rear out just a bit, and it will clip that wall if you're not careful. JD looking for the speed on the screen right now. I don't think it was any surprise that Jordan Hightower was quick in practice too. He was second fast there in practice, but with only 2 flying laps and a fixed setup to get this qualifying lap in, this is really a challenge. I mean, you really obviously here at Atlanta, you want to start up front. Clean air is your best friend. The pole, that front row, is very important tonight, critical. We've got a lot of cars here. Trouble could erupt behind you. These championship leaders, the men going for the chase this evening, they want to qualify somewhere up in the top 10. They have to secure at least a chance to fight at the end of these 98 laps. So we're knocking out practice now. And again, 2 flying laps. And right now, Tommy Ryan out there in the Northern Tools, number 6. He's looking for that fast lap. Right now, best lap 28.933. And Smitty, tires tonight. Let's talk about the tires, because I honestly think with that 30 to 33 lap pit window, you're really probably going to be screaming for tires at about lap 15, 17, 18.
Yeah, quite possibly. As you say, as we got qualifying going on right now, tires are going to be a thing. And if you can not have to work through traffic, if you can kind of hang out and do your own race at the front, that's going to be a good way to get to the end here. I'll tell you what, looking pretty good right now. He's a chaser. He's looking for a good run. Provisional pole right now is Tommy Ryan with that 28.932. You got Ryan. He's got that provisional pole, that 932. He's got Krahula, non-chaser. You see him on screen right now, 28.936. How about that? That is just 3 thousandths between those guys there. I've seen on timing and scoring. Jeff Ward, though, not to be denied, third right now, 28.948. So we got 2 chasers, Tommy Ryan and Jeff Ward, inside the top 3. They're going to be actually nose to tail right now, unless somebody else can make something happen here in qualifying. We got 29 drivers that put times in, and it is close. Right now, provisional pole 28.932 for Ryan and 29.139. 21st, 29.1 for Don Runkle. Not much between them. Where's our other guy? Brian Yatsick back there in 13th. Oh man, that's not very good unless you look at his time. 29.005. We're talking right around 70 thousandths separating our chasers at the sharp end and the guy at the back. So it's going to be incredibly interesting to see how this all winds out.
Now, last week they got it on at Homestead, Miami Speedway, and we talked about Jordan Hightower winning there, picking up his 2nd win of the season. Jeff Ward finished 2nd there. It certainly didn't hurt his chances. Yazic took a 4th place finish, and, well, James Krahula, we've seen is fast tonight. Again, he finished 5th in that. Tommy Ryan back there in 8th. But it was Jake Wright that really, we talked about it early, had a lot of trouble and dashed his hopes for this championship this season with that effort last week.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be a situation if you find yourself behind the 8 ball. And I'll tell you what, too. Yatsic back here, starting 13th right now. He's going to have some work to do, especially with the 2 guys he's trying to beat at the sharp end. But I'll tell you what, Sean, we're really going to have 2 races going on right now, aren't we? We're going to have a race for the win, which right now might have chasers included, unlike we saw last round and some of these other rounds. But we'll also be looking at that chase for the championship, the final race here, the deciding race. And really, these guys, these chasers, they're going to only race each other. Now, the guy with the leg up, that's going to be Ward. right? Right now, it's okay if some of these guys are a spot in front of him, perhaps because he's got the advantage on the points. But at the end of the day, you want to be in sharp in front of everybody because that's the easiest way to get this championship done for yourself.
Now, this is all about the chase at this point. Let's though talk about the remaining 6 drivers that'll fill out the top 10, because as I look through the points back behind the chasers, it looks like those battles have been settled. Jake Wright unofficially looks like to finish 4th, but James Carolla looks to have 5th locked up. Pierre Degla with 6th, Big Joe Hassert in 7th, Brian Mellendorf in 8th, Woodrow Mahon in 9th, and Don Runkle in 10th. And I believe that's how your points will finish up for the season. Again, those battles all seem to be separated by enough points. I don't think it'll make a difference tonight. We've got, again, this very last race. So the battle up front is going to be for the top 3 and who wins this championship. Jeff Ward, Brian Yazik, or Tommy Ryan. One of those 3 is going to walk away here from Atlanta tonight with this Grand National Series points championship. And Coastal Safety Autos has brought it your way all season here for 2016. And this is going to be another great battle this evening. I'm so glad we've got a big field this evening here. Nothing like a full field in Atlanta. I'm seeing 29 cars right now. The track only 1.5 miles. You could find traffic quick if they get slow at the back of the field there, Smitty.
Absolutely, you could. And I'll tell you what, we've got 3 minutes left of qualifying. We got the number 7 on screen right now, one of the late takers. That's James Shipman. Actually did not get a time in during practice, so he's going in here cold. And I'm seeing a few other guys who have not put in times as well. Back here we got Gerald Livingston, Drew Carroll. Carroll, a stout driver with no quality time in yet. I wonder if he's going to go late. And Mark Norbert, John Wilco, Calvin Filarski, Brandon Minnick. Those guys have not put in a time. We still got 2 minutes and change to go in qualifying here. And for sure, these guys are going to be wanting that clean air like you talked about. If you can be out front, you can kind of manage your own race. It'll be interesting to see how this thing goes down. And it'll be interesting to see who races these chasers like there is no championship up for grabs. Give them a little bit of a nod, or do you fight them hard all the way to the end and try to go for the W?
Well, I'll tell you what. That is something we'll talk about all evening when they get racing with each other, and it'll be certainly something to watch. But let's go to the Savage Spinners Pole Award, and tonight that is going to go to J.D. Laird with a 28.95.
Actually, I think it's Tommy Ryan.
Oh, jeez. How did I mess that up? Oh, I had practice standing. Guys, I'm sorry. I'll do that again. The SavageSpinners.com Pole Award is going to go to Tommy Ryan in Northern Tools number 6 this week. Wow. Off to a great start here. But congratulations, Tommy. That was a flying lap of 28.933. James Carolla right behind him, 0.02 of a second, 0.935. So, as you were talking about in practice, I think it held true here in qualifying. The times really, really close by just tenths all the way through the top 10.
Yeah, and take a look at, we're watching it on board right now. You see how high Tommy's going around this track. He knows that second lap's going to be fast. The second lap's going to be the faster of the 2. And look at him right here on the bottom. This is lap 2 right here. This is the money lap. And on the first lap, he's up high. He's getting some heat in the tires. Now he's keeping this thing nice and tidy, nice and tight. Not all the way up to the wall at first. Now he gets all the way here, and he's going to arc it in here. He's going to try and get a little bit of a late apex on this thing. Couple little bumps through here. Not too bad. Smooth on off, but not all the way up. And he's going to cut it down, make the track as short as possible. That is how you start out your championship hunt on the best foot.
Indeed, that was a flying lap. And Tommy going to get to start on the front row this evening with Jimmy Carolla. 98 laps this evening. You know, again, that 30 to 33 lap pit window, it's got me head scratching right now to going, all right, you can do this in 2 stops, but you're going to probably have to have a little bit of help along the way.
Yeah, and it needs to be the right kind of help. Some of these guys might want to be doing some of that bump drafting action. No. Don't want that. You just want to be able to hang out. I got a feeling, though, here at Hotlanta, we're not going to see a whole lot of fuel saving. It's going to be getting after it, mashing the right foot down. I have to figure we're going to see some cautions. We saw some fantastic racing so far in the chase. Earlier in the year as well, 3 wide, 4 wide in places you didn't think it was possible. These guys know how to put on a show. I'm expecting to see a great one here tonight.
Yes, sir. And let's go to that grid now here. And tell you what, I am excited about this. So happy to be with you here on the broadcast this evening. But let's go through the field now. Call out your grid here. Premier Racing League. Tommy Ryan going to be on the pole. James Crahula going to start second this evening. Jeff Ward will start on the inside of row 2. J.D. Laird will start 4th. Jordan Hightower 5th this evening. Big Joe Hassert starts on the outside of row 3 and 6th. Jake Wright will start on the inside of row 4, 7th place. Alan Creer 8th. Row 5. Dan Murray will start 9th, and Ricky Harden 10th.
After that, in 11th, you've got Tony Schoen there with a Troy Height out the outside of him. Brian Yatzik, probably the last of our chasers here to have a shot at it with 3rd overall right now. He's going to start from 13th. Look for him to make some big moves early. Michael Krobach, saw him at the sharp end last round. He's now there in 14th starting position. Chad Coleman, 15th. Paul Pepper, former winner this year. We saw him 16th now. Woodrow Mahan, also another sharp end guy there in 17th. Randy Yoakum, 18th. Nick Thames is in 19th tonight. And Tommy and Massey is going to round out the top 20 here, Sean.
All right, and then we'll go to Don Runkle starting 21st this evening. Inside of row 11, Jeff Ryan starting 22nd. That'll be the last car to take qualifying time. We'll go back to row 12. Drew Carroll 23rd. Brandon Minnick 24th. James Shipman on the inside of row 13, 25th. Calvin Filarski 26th. And then it'll be 27th place will be Gerald Livingston. John Wilco on the outside starting 28th. They're rounding out this 29-car field. Going to be Mark Nobert with no time this evening.
And something I just saw here, it looks like J.D. Laird, end-of-line penalty here. So Laird, who actually qualified 4th, looks like an EOL to start things off. I'm not sure why that is, but we do see him there, looks like, dropping to the back. So J.D., not a chaser, obviously, but he's going to have to do some work. And being as fast as he was, fastest in practice, P4 in quality, let's keep an eye on J.D. as he works his way to the front.
Yeah, that's a lot of work to do. That's a tough hill to climb.
See this aerial shot here, that number 6 on pole chaser there. We're going to keep an eye on the 89, that kind of black and green car. He's another chaser. That's Jeff Ward. A little bit further back, it's going to be a blue machine you're going to be looking for. Kind of yellow and blue. That is Brian Yatzik. Watch out for those 3 guys. But right now, we're going to go green here shortly. It's all for the win as well.
I think Jake Wright wants to spoil that and maybe try to get a win himself here this evening. We will see. We are getting ready to go. The pace car peeling out of turn 4 now. Going to duck on in. And the AdvoCare We Build Champions 150 getting ready to get underway. There goes the pace car. Tommy Ryan on point. On the loud pedal. Here we go. Across the line we go. Tommy Ryan breaks away from the field there. Quick, heading on down into 1. Going to take that low trip in.
Look at them already looking at 3 wide there for a second. They thought better of it. Remember, there's only really 2 lanes that you can play with there. You see most of them on the bottom. High line here with some fresh tires. That's going to be able to happen. Down the back straight for the first time, it is Tommy Ryan with a little bit of an advantage. It's Jeff Ward, chaser, right behind him. But points is going to come into play. Right now, Ward doesn't mind seeing Tommy right in front of him. Early days here, it's going to be Tommy Ryan leading lap 1.
Yeah, he does it. And I'll tell you what, Tommy got a really nice start to this race, but Jeff's starting to pick it up just a bit. Catch him here a bit. James falling back. He's got Jordan Hightower right up his bumper. Big Joe Hassert there, and so is Jake Wright. That is your top 6 right now.
I'm really not surprised that these guys going single file pretty early. With there not being a lot of options for lines, at least here early, these guys are really trying to just hit their marks, maybe spread out the field a little bit. Almost all single file, but as you mentioned, clean air is the name of the game right now. The guy with it, Tommy Ryan.
Yes, sir, and boy, I'll tell you what, we've had a pretty clean start. Oh, the yellow flag is out. Looks like it might have been in turn 1.
Still looks like it's happening, actually, and coming out at 2. Saw one driver sideways. I didn't see who exactly that was. Looks like everybody's underway again.
I think what we had was a car coming loose off of 2. Thought I saw J.D. Laird's name splash up there. To be honest with you, I wasn't on it when it happened. There we go. We got a replay of it here. We'll take a re-rack on that and see if we can pick it up a little bit closer to it. Saw some smoke up there in front.
Looked like it might have been the 00. That Runkle. I think Runkle, yeah, you see damage on the back there, so maybe we can get one more shot at with Runkle here. Find out what happened with him. There we go. This should give it to us. We're going through the travel lane down in turn number 1. Looks like Runkle goes to the inside. Just a little bit of a tap. I think it was that Krobik? I wasn't sure who that was in front of him. Looks like the 38 perhaps. Another driver late coming to it. Maybe
I think it was Brandon Minnick coming into the picture there. All right, so we got some cars with a little bit of damage here early. Only on lap 5 right now.
Yeah, I want to tell you, I like this strategy right now. We've got 5 laps in. We got a long way to go, but we got Jeff Ward in the pits right now. Jeff Ward in the pits. You know what I think he's thinking? If this thing does go green, he's got only one more stop to go. He's got options here. Brian Yatzik also coming down pit road. You know who didn't, though? Tommy Ryan.
No, Tommy Ryan didn't. Jake Wright did. Ricky Harden did. A lot of drivers back there deciding to come on in.
Yeah, it looks like maybe the top 8 staying out here. We got 8 cars that have stayed out for this thing. That's going to be a little bit of work, and not a lot of rubber burned off on those things. Interesting. I think with Tommy there, kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. And Ward is like, well, I'm going to go different strategy with this thing. I'm liking what's going on right now. This could make things interesting.
All right, well, let's get your top 10 here real quick. That's Tommy Ryan. These guys all didn't pit. James Krahula, Jordan Hightower, Big Joe Hassert, Alan Creer, Tony Showen, and 7th, Woodrow Mahon, all the way up to 10 spots there. And, of course, he did not pit. The last car that did not pit, Nick Thames. And then you got Ricky Harden there, comes out of the pit in 9th. And Troy Haight comes out to round out your top 10.
I'll tell you what, one of the interesting things here, too, remember we were talking about Brian Yatzik having to come from deep in the field, having to come from 13th. Well, he's now 16th, but you know who's only 2 spots in front of him? Jeff Ward. So the guy he's trying to beat, one of the 2 guys he's trying to beat anyway. Same strategy, perhaps, but now within striking distance. The thing's got a lot more interesting here in a hurry.
Well, that was a quick caution period, and we are getting ready to go racing again. And it's going to be Tommy Ryan, James Krahula on point. And you've got Jordan Hightower and Big Joe Hassert right behind him. And Tony Showen and Alan Creer. Going to wind him up here, heading out of 4. Those lights are off. Pace car is about to peel off here, folks. Here we go. We're going to crank it back up for you. Tommy Ryan going to do it again from the inside. Pace car is off. He's on it. Here we go. Green flag is out.
Tommy this time once again, not quite as big of a jump, but still got a good jump. He's going to lead him down into turn number 1. This time he's got Hightower right to his inside. Krahula is going to slot back into 3rd. Look at these guys going single file in a hurry. They know they got to dig if they're going to keep the advantage. But up the inside is the 07. I believe it's Mahan trying to go to the inside of Joe Hassert. Is he going to have enough into turn number 3? Still inside. We got a fight for it looks like 5th or 6th there.
Yeah, Woodrow got it right down on that line. Got to be careful. He almost got it a little too low. He slides up the track. Almost gets into Big Joe. He's got company right behind him.
Now Joe's to the outside. He's going to try to pick up a spot on Creer.
Joe riding that middle line right now, and he's going to tuck back in behind Creer. Up front, Tommy Ryan still your leader, but under attack by Jordan Hightower. Hightower going to back out of it just a little bit. Keeps it right down there on the line. Tommy Ryan going to roll out of 4, still in the lead.
I'll tell you what, while those guys are pretty much single file up there, it's a hornet's nest back here by Yatzik and company. Yatzik has found his way in front of Ward. These guys got a lot of work to do, though. These guys are trying to work their way through some non-chasers, and it is hot and heavy. These guys back here just shy of a top 10. Jacek trying to go to the inside of Schoen right now, inside of Joachim. He's got Schoen up next. Here comes Ward, going to go with him.
Boy, those guys back there in a hornet's nest right now. Championship contenders trying to get back up to the front, and they got a lot of traffic in front of them. But the boys up front have all settled in line. And I'll tell you what, that clean air is a driver's best friend. Tommy Ryan really having a lot of fun up in front of the field right now.
We got 3 wide right there. That was, looks like Murray was taking a look. Took a look at the inside of Ward. It's not what Ward wanted to see, but he wisely backed out. That was 3 wide with Joachim on the outside. Joachim is going to fall back just a little bit. So now our chase leaders starting to work their way through. I don't like the way that 31 showing. He was kind of going back and forth a little bit. Looks like he's settled down a little. Now the 55 of Jacek going to go to work on the 31. He's got Ward right with him. Going to try and push him on through. These guys, fresh tires, kind of work their way up to the top 10 again.
And yes, there weren't many laps on those tires, but hey, for a little bit of help you can get here. Atlanta, it can be a bit of a tire eater. 91 degrees, not incredibly blistering, but still enough to wear on these tires at these speeds. Tommy Ryan still holding off James Corolla. Jordan Hightower back to third now. And Alan Creer having a great run there. He's holding on to that spot there, that podium spot really well so far, or I'm sorry, in fourth, but man, Ricky Harden is all over him, just making it difficult. Ricky looking to the bottom, trying to get a nose in, can't do it. Creer doing a good job of making that car just a little wider than it might be.
Yeah, and actually Harden just made his way by Joe Hassert last lap. So Harden, guy on the move right now. See if he gets a bit of a run coming off of here. These guys are very, very close nose to tail. And actually we're starting to see some guys make some moves a little bit late into the corner. Mahan down to the inside. You see it as we look back from Creer. It is right behind him is Harden. And a little bit further back is Harden to the inside. He's going to try to make the move here. But that was Mahan. I saw that white car made to the inside of Hassert. Now Hassert's starting to go backwards. It's going to be him on the outside and possibly the 55 of Jacek trying to go to work on him.
Yeah, Jacek looking pretty smooth here, even in the traffic. Now we got 2 cars battling up just in front of them, and that's the number 54. Nick Thames gets stuck in the middle, 3 wide, almost coming out of the turn.
Yeah, did you see that? That was Thames. He actually went up high. He slid up a little bit high to push. He went real hard going into the corner, slid up the track, and now right in front of our chase contenders. And actually, Jacek had a moment with Hassert. Hassert having to back off to go to the high side.
Yeah, those two almost made contact door to door there. Jacek holding that line down at the bottom here through the turn. Got the run on Thames. Can't forget about the 89 right there sitting just off of Jacek.
And you got, I believe that's J.D. Laird right behind him. Laird, remember, fastest in practice, had the end of line. He goes to the inside of Ward. Now he picks off Ward. Ward back one more. J.D. Laird making moves forward. Now Jacek to the inside of Thames. It could be Jacek down to the inside for turn number 3. There he goes. It's going to be one more spot for Jacek. Let's see if he pushes up the track, however. No, it looks like it's going to be good and clean for the 55. There comes the 23. Going to try and go with him.
Just up in front of them, Woodrow Mahon having a little bit of trouble in the 07. He got just up to the wall there out of turn 4. Everybody checking up behind him, but here comes Jacek. He's pulling him now. Going to make the move to the inside of Mahon. That Jack Daniels 07 machine stuck up top. Jacek got the nose in, going to the bottom here in 3.
Jacek with the
picking
advantage.
them off like flies right now.
Absolutely. He's got that bottom working well, and I'm really liking the exit he's got coming off. I'll tell you what, maybe the only person doing a little bit better than him, J.D. Laird. Laird has been right on the back bumper of Jacek. Now that he's gotten around Ward, who's right behind him, followed by Murray. It's been very, very close for those guys, but Laird has been able to get off the corners almost, if not better than the Jacek, and that is why these guys are picking people off. The 55, that blue and yellow machine, chase driver, Jacek, working his way through, but now riding on board J.D. Laird. Watch as he's able to come off the corner with some clean air and get to the inside and start making moves. He might even make a move on the 55 as we come out of the back straightaway next time by. Right now, around the back bumper, let's see if he can get this run. These guys have got good 15 laps on these tires now. Takes a peek, nothing doing this time. These guys are still making forward progress, though. You see in front of him, all single file. These guys currently running 7th and 8th. Yatic 7th. Leia in 8th. Oh, bit of a white line there. Just a tip of that apron. That's
yes,
running close.
He did. He got it right down there and almost tripped up. Here comes the 89 of Jeff Ward, though. Oh, he slides up the track, had a run on him, had to get out of it. Talking about getting into it, J.D. Laird almost into Paul Pepper there.
That's heads up by Paul Pepper. Looked like he was going to start coming down, and there was a driver there. Guess what? There's a driver there. How about Jeff Ward? Looked like he got a shot out of a cannon. He's sliding up the track just a little bit. Pepper, hold on to it, Big Daddy. Good coming off the corner very nicely. A little bit in front of him, though, you see that bright green car? That's Krahula. He's trying to hold on to that second spot. He's got Harden on his outside. Things are starting to get racy. Remember, the front runners still on those original tires, now 21 laps old.
The bull in the china shop there, the 15 of Ricky Harden, beating on that bumper of James Krahula just a bit. Maybe give him a little bit of help. Krahula ducks it back down to the inside. Now kind of playing Switzerland, playing both parts of the track there. Can't decide which side of it he wants to settle on. He's going to get up there and maybe help his buddy a little bit. And then he dips it back down. But here comes the 15, Ricky Harden, putting the power down on the turn. Oh!
What a
Alan
save
Creer.
by Creer. What a save by Creer. He was full sideways. He wrecked it. He just didn't think that he wanted to hit anything. That was phenomenal.
Let's go on board with him here real quick. You're going to see, you said he was almost full around. He's around. And he saves it. Just what a great save. Oh, man. You're doing about 190 miles an hour right there. Maybe about 175, 179 miles an hour right there. That's still plenty fast. And you saved the car? Are you kidding me?
That was a phenomenal save by him, and it was right in front of a couple of our chase guys, Ward and Yatic. Everybody able to continue. I'll tell you one thing I was starting to see there was they were all side by side. The guys with a little bit older tires there on the bottom, they're having a hard time coming out of the corner. It's like we're starting to get a little bit of understeer, a little bit of a push out of these guys, if you will. On the bottom, they're trying to work the track up just a little bit more, maybe arc it in a little bit later to try to get a little better drive up.
Look at this run by Ward on top, off the turn, running down the hill, takes it away from Tommy Ryan. We have a new leader.
Jeff was able to make it through that Shimazal okay, didn't have any issues. And actually, Dad, we're having pit stops. Is Tommy Ryan coming in, and Krahula going to hit the cone? Contact behind him.
Contact between Krahula and what's that, 20 Paul Pepper.
That was lap 25. Interesting, these guys decided to come in at this point. They had a little bit more. Maybe they just felt they were going to lose too much. And Ryan, he comes in hot. Did he get it stopped in time? Yes, he did. Did not go past the box, but he had them all locked up. Now let's see what the other guys do. Ward's going to go by one more time. So Ryan in, 24's in, Hassard, all of our front-running guys from that did not take the stop, all making their stops right now. First guy out, though, looks like it's going to be Pepper, then Ryan.
Well, Jeff Ward is still your leader, but Brian Yazik kept it out there, tracking him down. Yazik just a little bit less than a second back as they head through 3 and 4. Yazik got a little bit of company right behind him. J.D. Laird closing, bringing his friend Ricky Harden.
It looks like I was keeping an eye on the 24. Long stop, probably unsafe entry, probably a penalty perhaps, but I'm seeing some damage on that car from the contact with Pepper.
Yeah, I wasn't able to close in on it when after that, but based on that contact, you would have to think there was. It looks like that left front beat up just a little bit. Doesn't look that bad though, Smitty. I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, he should be okay. Unfortunately, it might cost him a little bit in the mile-an-hour program, just with how fast we do go around this thing. But regardless, did not go the way he wanted it to. He wanted a nice, clean stop. You see Nick Thames actually in right now as well. Another one of those drivers that did not pit early. The other guys who did, though, still around, circulating. Jeff Ward, your leader, and also the leader in the points. That's where you want to be right now. But remember, we were talking 30, 33 laps. That's how long you can go. We made the last stops right around lap 4 or 5. So it's going to be pit stop time for these guys coming up pretty quick, too.
Yeah, and I do think that you talked about a penalty for Krahula that, as I calculated, that it was exactly 15 seconds. So That's what an unsafe pit entry is worth, 15 seconds. And I think the time, more so than the damage, is going to hurt Kahula right now if this race stays green.
Well, I'll tell you what, if this race does stay green, you see Tony Schoen in, sliding it in the box there sideways. He gets her stopped. These other guys, Jeff Ryan, making things happen, as well as James Shipman. If it does go green the rest of the way, and Ward, Yahtzee, and company can make their pit stop after a lap about 33, they're good to go for one more stop. If that is not the case with these other guys, they might have to do it in 2 or need some caution help. So fuel could actually become a bit of a strategy here. This early stop those guys made could be the difference.
Well, Ward's still in command, and honestly, Yahtzee not able to close right now. He's putting a good fight, but that little battle he's got going on with J.D. Laird not helping his cause right now. I was thinking maybe those 2 cars working together might get them closer to Ward, but Ward just really nailing it right now. We talked about that clean air early on. Obviously doing wonders for Ward right now as he's still turning laps that are about a full 10th faster than the boys chasing him right now.
But, you know, it could be that Jeff didn't have to work as hard. Now, remember, we did see the one punching a hole through the field was actually Yahtzee. Yahtzee had made his way around Ward early in that last stint, and it was Ward following him through. And then J.D. Laird got around Ward, and Ward followed him through. So perhaps those guys burned the tires just a little bit more, and Ward was actually being smart and saving a little bit.
Oh, we had just a close moment there. Ricky Harden just almost got Michael Krobach around. Krobach was able to save it, but Ward will come in, and that will lead it to Brian Yahtzee. Going to take over the lead of this race. J.D. Laird going to move into second.
Right now we're looking at this free play. Ricky Harden. You see there a little bit of a moment coming off the corner. They're right next to each other. Nose to tail going down on turn number 3. Harden right down to the bottom.
I'll tell you what, it's got a battle right here. Paul Pepper down to the bottom. That's the number 29.
He's got Tommy Ryan right behind him. He's trying to make things happen after that pit stop. He's got to really book it right now, try to make things happen in a hurry, because Ward coming out of the pits with a head of steam. But it's going to be advantage Ryan there, I think, with the undercut.
And Tommy was right up his tailpipe there, and he's getting back to him now. Oh, Ward, I mean, Pepper got to be so careful down there on the bottom. He was a little bit too low on that white line. That got a little wiggle out of the car and allows the number 6 of Tommy Ryan to close. Watch out. There's Pepper looking to the inside. Ryan going to pick him up. Ooh, what a run that gave him. Right up on Yahtzee. This is an intense battle back here.
Well, we got a couple different strategies going on right now, and hopefully these guys keep things clean. But one thing I want to point out, Brian Yahtzee is your leader right now. He has not made his pit stop. He's a little bit off cycle, as we talked about. Ward did come in already, and it was Yahtzee who's actually got a good chunk of the field a lap down. All these guys going around his outside right now, they're all actually a lap down. The next guy, second place, is 23 of Laird. So a little bit of a different strategy. Yahtzee going long on this thing, and if a caution were to fly, that's going to really mess things up for everybody else. But not Tommy Ryan, who's actually just gotten his way around. He's one of the last guys on the lead lap, so Ryan able to make it happen. The question is, when does Yahtzee come in?
Well, I think Yahtzee's got to really start thinking about it soon here, because the difference in time is really what's going to kill him. And you know, the pit stop takes X amount of time. We all know that. Right at about 35 seconds. And there goes Yahtzee going to make his way in now with Jake Wright, Troy Haight.
Yeah, and 30.8 was the last lap that Yahtzee had done, a 30.8. Meanwhile, Jeff Ward, fresh rubber, 29.2. So when this whole thing cycles through, we should see Ward with a pretty hefty advantage on Yahtzee, Laird, and company. Meanwhile, Laird still has not made his stop, I believe. I think he's still... he's coming down right now.
Neither is Ricky Harden. We're still waiting for Ricky Harden to come in, too. And there goes Ricky.
So here comes the cycle, which means we're going back to Tommy Ryan, who was the leader before that happened. He's now on the back straightaway with right on the back bumper of him, the 29 of Pepper, as well as Jordan Hightower in the 22. And there's Creer after that save right there with him as well.
Yeah, Creer really been consistent since he had that little bit of trouble playing it safe. The 22 looking to the inside. There goes Jordan Hightower taking it away from Paul Pepper. Beginning his move up to Tommy Ryan, who is now the leader again.
Now remember, we do expect these guys to possibly be shy a little bit. It'll be, or at least have to go real long. It's going to be close on fuel. We just saw a long run from Yatsik there. I think about 34, 35 laps. I think he might have been able to squeak out of that thing. Or it was real close for him. So Yatsik going around. You see Krova right there with him. 13th, 14th, those two drivers trying to make inroads here to the sharp end.
So, definitely have some different strategies going on, which has really broken up the field now. And I think we're at a point in the race now where you could say pretty much from here on out, without any caution flags, you're really looking at being in traffic most of the trip around.
Certainly, and another pit stop easily to play here, if not two. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. Just to give everybody a quick update of where your chase drivers are running right now. Tommy Ryan, he came into this thing. Needing a few points. He's actually in the third spot. He was 5 points back from Ward. He's your leader right now. The next person in line, Jeff Ward. He's sitting P7 this time. He was the leader coming into this thing. Again, with the 5-point advantage on Ryan. With Brian Yatsik circulating right now, back in the 13th spot. And he is 2 points back from Ward. So first, 7th, and 13th here with 42 in the books.
All right, and an update up front. Alan Creer just finished his work getting around Paul Pepper. That puts him up to third. Still chasing our leaders, Tommy Ryan and Jordan Hightower. And Creer really starting to pick it up, man. He's turning some great laps. He's faster than those two. He's going to catch him here pretty quick.
When you had talked about Hightower in the intro, Hightower winning lately, really been strong. Not a chaser, certainly, but look at him coming into this corner right on the back bumper of Ryan. Hightower's a kite you got to watch out for. He is going to have a strong shot at the win. Currently running second, even on this different strategy. Keep an eye out for him. While Creer, you see the laps there, a 29.92 for Tommy, 29.92 for Hightower, 29.98. For Creer. Creer with that a little bit of an advantage. So Creer is definitely going fast. He's only about a half second behind these guys here in third. Paul Pepper just went in.
Paul Pepper's in the pits. Just saw him peel off. Don Runkle back here having trouble. I got to be honest with you. I've seen him in the wall a couple times. The Winn-Dixie double-lot having a little bit of trouble getting off the turns right now, and he's scraped it a few times, giving up position to Nick Thames, and Jeff Ward rocking it on past him. Okay, watch out for Jeff Ward because here he comes. He is about 6/10 faster than the boys in front of him right now. And Alan Creer, Jordan Hightower, and Tommy Ryan better watch out because it's going to be the Jeff Ward show here pretty soon. He's in Creer's mirror right now.
Yeah, and actually right now is the Jordan Hightower show. Hightower making his way around Tommy Ryan for the lead while we were talking about that. And as you say, yeah, those guys are they're going to have their mirrors full of Jeff Ward. Jeff Ward up to fourth. He's going faster. Well, he pit later than these guys did. Again, different strategy for these guys. But look at Ward coming. He is fourth, and he is fast.
And Hightower really being a little defensive right now, trying to break Tommy's momentum, not giving Tommy a good look here to make a pass. Oh, and just in front of him, we had a spinner.
No caution yet.
And as the leaders went by, there was a car low. I didn't catch who it was. That was Tom Massey.
And he's going to stay on the apron. I think we're going to get away with no caution. That is, it's not what some of the guys wanted to see, but it is what we want to see to make things interesting.
Tommy Ryan now getting passed by Jeff Ward on the high side. We're watching the replay of Massey getting out of shape. And as that's happening, the lead has been surrendered, and Jeff Ward is your new leader. Jordan Hightower back to second. Couldn't do anything about it. Massey on screen there made a good save, stayed out of the racing line. We stayed green, but Jeff Ward is your new leader this time around with 50. Now we've got 51 laps to go.
Well, I'll tell you what, as you say, nothing they could do about it. Well, how about because Ward's cutting laps a half a second faster? Ward, one of the fastest guys, if not the fastest guy around the track, and look at him already leaving those guys in the dust. A 29.8 last time to a 30.4 for Hightower. Huge difference. Now already almost a second at the line with about 50 laps to go. It's a Ward advantage, Hightower second, and look, I don't even see Krahula. Did Krahula come into the pits, perhaps?
No, Krahula still on track, only with the one pit stop still.
Here he goes. I thought I'd see him
goes.
duck in. This was what I was wondering. We were going to start seeing this because remember Krahula, he pit on that different strategy with Hightower and some of these guys. Now Hightower's in. Hightower is in as well.
Boy, but Ward has had this pace for so many laps right now. He's been able to put a lot of good distance between him and those guys that are just now going in. And man, that's a really good strategy right now. As long as he can keep the car clean and continue to just fight the clean air out there in front of him, he's going to be in good shape. He's still got quite a ways to go on this set of tires and fuel for this run. And Ward is all out there on track by himself right now.
Yeah, you see it up on the leaderboard there. Jeff Ward, your leader, just over 7 seconds behind. You see it on screen. Brian Yacek, second place. We got right there with him. And then it looks like J.D. Laird as well. Laird, the last one to pit of the bunch. So Laird could actually be the fastest, the freshest piece of equipment with Wright right there with him. Now Wright takes a look at the inside of Yacek going down turn number 3.
Jeff Ward having to be careful. Cars coming back out on the track with better tires, and Chad Coleman was one of them. Ward was trying to complete the pass, and Coleman able to get on the throttle and use the grip of those new tires to get by him. And now Ward eases up just a bit and lets him go. But again, Ward's in that position right now where just a moment ago he had nobody he was battling with, and as those cars started coming out, he had to navigate that traffic just a little bit, slowed him down just a piece.
I'll be curious to see what happens of the chasers. It was Yacek was the last one. I wonder, with Yacek letting these guys go here, I'm wondering if he's going to save these tires. He knows he's got to do one more stop. If this thing goes green, he's definitely good to go. I wonder if he thinks he's got a little bit of something extra. With Ward cutting through the field quick, maybe he's trying to save the tires. We know Yacek is good on these long runs.
Okay, now, we haven't talked about it a whole lot, but let me get into it real quick. This is a 43-point scoring system, okay? Just like they do in NASCAR, right? So the winner gets 43 points. Now there are also bonus points for most laps led, bonus point for lap led, and a bonus point for halfway. Okay, so there are certainly several ways to pick up those points this evening. But really, the win, 43 points. That's what sets you apart. Jeff Ward was leading going into this. Yacek just trailing by just 2 points. So Yacek really needs to work his way here to the front. This strategy is going to be very interesting as we get down to the wire. These positions are so close. Remember, Tommy Ryan was only 5 points back from Jeff Ward, but Jeff Ward high, wide, and handsome right now as we look at this race with just 40 laps to go. Smitty, this has been a good one. I think it's lived up to everything we thought it would be. Why don't, real quickly here, since we've just gotten past the halfway point of the race, why don't we take a look at the AdvoCare through the field right now?
I think that's a perfect opportunity to do it right now. Your leader is Jeff Ward, point leader, and the guy who's trying to hold on to this thing. He's losing hand over fist some time on the guys behind him with fresher equipment, starting with Jake Wright in the number 27. He's in second place. J.D. Laird, remember, having that end of line, he qualified fourth, had to start in the back. Well, right now, P3 and looking good in the strategy. After that, you got Brian Yacek, the next of our chasers, trying to make things happen. He's in fourth spot. Fifth spot has been a very, very quick Ricky Harden. It looks like actually Krobach just got around him, actually. So Krobach has made a way through. And then Ricky Harden. Ricky Harden just behind him. They're in the 15 machine. After that, you've got the number 82 of Troy Height. He's going to be in the 7th spot. In 8th spot behind Troy, you're going to have the number 62 of Wilco. Now, Wilco, we haven't talked about at all. Looks like he's got a little bit of damage on the right front. And Grand Prix I'm not sure a Chevy Grand Prix is anything that I've seen before, but Wilco doing something a little bit different right now in 8th spot. In the 9th spot is going to be Tommy Ryan. He's going to be trying to make things happen here, try to get back on the lead lap. And then rounding out the top 10 is going to be Paul Pepper, another one of these guys with a little bit of damage on that outside.
All right, and then we go to Jordan Hightower, back there in in the number 22, sitting at 11th. Alan Creer, after that cycle of pit stops, finds himself back in 12th right now. Nick Thames in the number 54 is 13th. And then we go to 14th there, and Dan Murray. Dan Murray in the number 5 Illinois driver, having a good run here so far. Big Joe Hassert, the Big Joe Show, in 15th this evening. Jeff Ward just made his way into the pits there. It's going to shake things up just a little bit.
Yeah, and this was 40 to go. It's can you go 40 laps on a tank?
Well, all right, let's finish running through the field here. We left off at Big Joe Hassert, James Shipman in 16th. Gerald Livingston in 17th in the number 63. And then Chad Coleman will be 18th right now, the Georgia driver, the number 45. And Brandon Minnick sits in 19th right now, the number 30. And James Gruel is still out there, and now on his second stint here, just 10.5 laps in. He is rounding out the top 20 right now in the AdvoCare number 24. And that is your through the field. Again, just halfway past this race right now, only 38 laps to go. Everybody looking at still, definitely going to need one stop more to get this done. We're wondering if Ward going to be able to do it just now out of the pits. Is he going to be able to keep that car on track to the end?
Yeah, he pit on lap, the first time he made that last stop was going to be on lap 32. He came in, coming out on lap 33, and then just came in now on lap 58, which my math says maybe a little bit short, but maybe these guys are able to go a little bit longer than we thought. Going off of the math that we do know, or that what we do think is the case, is Brian Yacek. He looks to be safe. He last came down pit road lap 37. So if we're talking about a 33-lap stint, that's going to do it. So he may be playing the long game and see another guy getting around him, and he does not put up a fight. Yacek is playing the long game, and he's about 3 laps away from his window opening.
Let's pick up Jeff Ward on track real quick just to see where he's at. He is in 13th place right now, and he is gained by Tom and Massey. Had that trouble early. Tom right now sitting back at 27th, and here comes Ward up on some more traffic, trying to thread the needle. Got Mark Norbert right up in front of him, goes to the inside. Gonna make the trip through, really close to Norbert there. Again, threads the needle. Gets right around the 15 there, Ricky Harden.
Now Ward is digging real hard. He knows it's time to go. I got a feeling he's not doing any kind of saving whatsoever. He's banking on another caution. He's got to, with how many laps are left. The one thing I want to point out, you talked about points earlier. Well, all of our chase guys, I believe, have led a lap, so you can knock out that advantage from anybody. The guys who have led the most, though, it's going to be in the neighborhood of probably Tommy Ryan or Jeff Ward. So the advantage will probably go there for a bonus point. Let's just say that it is. That widens the gap to 3 to Yacek and 6 to Ryan. This is not going to be about bonus points. It's going to be about positions on track. And right now I'm getting confirmation it is Ryan with the most laps led, actually. So the advantage to Ryan. So that's only 4 points difference from Ward. So 2 to Yacek and 4 to Ryan. Again, it's going to be about who has got the position on track when the thing comes down to the end. We're at 33 laps to go. I'm expecting to see a number 55 come down pit lane at any time. Now, currently running third with J.D. Laird and Jake Wright in front of him. Those guys on a different strategy.
Man, I'll tell you what, the battle up front was real there for a second. J.D. Laird is the leader of this race, but he was battling with Paul Pepper, trying to get back on the same lap with those guys, and almost had contact there. And Paul Pepper working with a little bit of damage on the right front of that car. And just behind him, though, here comes Ward. down on the inside and just shot out like a cannonball there, coming up the track and around the 22. Just leaving Hightower sitting there in the dust.
Remember we were talking about what fresh tires will do for you? Right there.
I'm sorry, J.D. Laird in the 23, guys. My bad.
If you want to see the difference in grip level right there, it's unbelievable what tires will do for you. But right now, J.D. Laird is the leader. It's a guy who doesn't really have to do anything as far as the chase goes. He's just trying to go for W's. These other guys, however, those are the ones we're watching. The 55 right there. Is he going to come in this time? Yes, he is. And right in front of him is Jake Wright. Similar pit strategy for those guys. Yatsik in. This will be good to go from the end. I'm pretty sure he may be the only chaser on that strategy.
Okay, well, here goes Jeff Ward now. He is working on trying to get himself back on the lap with the leaders there. J.D. Laird and Ricky Harden still on track. Now their window is open. They'll be coming in any time, and that's going to leave. And there we go. Peeling off. Coming on in.
Murray, sideways, they're coming in. Grab the cone. I think he could get that same penalty Krahula did earlier.
You don't want to cost yourself time when you're racing for a win. J.D. Laird in his stall now.
Now, the first ones came, it was Laird leading, followed by Wright, followed by Yatsik. Now, these guys are all going to be good to the end, but with the undercut there by one lap, here comes Yatsik around turn number 3. He'll have Wright there with him as well. These guys are going to be the ones that could have the advantage on Laird with this undercut. We'll see what happens as they come around. There it is, Jake Wright. Might actually be able to snag it from J.D. Laird. Laird just actually caught a little bit of the track. Should be right in front of him. There it goes. That's what pitting one lap earlier do for you. Will Yatsik be able to get around as well? Yes, he does. Just having those fresh tires for one extra lap makes a difference.
Going back to Jeff Ward, he actually just picked up another position, took one away from Alan Greer, and just flew right past him there. Man, Ward is just really on rails right now. Boy, when he gets out there on those fresh tires, he just seems like Superman, just impossible.
All right, well, let's take a look at this. We've got everybody who's made a couple of stops. Just want to see what people have to do to make it to the end. Right now, your leader, Tommy Ryan, the last time he came down pit road was lap 48. Lap 48. If you add 33 to that, you're well shy. So Ryan's definitely going to have another stop. And in fact, there it is right here. So Ryan making it. This is going to be his it. Jordan Hightower also in. So this will be good to go for these guys. Where will they come out? Now the other one we're watching for, Jeff Ward, new leader. He's going to pick up some more laps led here over Tommy Ryan. He only grabbed a couple more. Jeff Ward's going to pick up some more of those, maybe grab some bonus points. The last time he came down pit road was lap, looks like 58. So if you add the laps of that, he can't make it either.
One more.
So it looks like 10 laps deficit as far as the laps led go for Ward. So Ward could pick that apart right here by leading some laps. But I think it's going to come down to Yatsik being on the correct strategy right now. If we do not have a caution, I do not see how those guys can beat Yatsik.
I think it's a valid point, unless Jeff Ward knows something we all don't, and he can get 40 laps out of this run. I don't know if it's possible. Is he going to push it, or is he going to go for a splash and go? I still don't know if a splash and go is going to be quick enough for him to avoid what's on its way behind him. Right now, Nick Thames, his only competition out there on track, and Nick also still needing to come in for a pit stop here at some point.
Well, I'll tell you what, looking at our running order right now and looking at what we have for laps left, etc., Jeff Ward is leading. Also on the lead lap is Brian Yatsik. Who's not on the lead lap? Tommy Ryan. If the yellow were to come out right now for some reason, Ryan is going to be stuck a lap down. He's not going to be in position to get the lap back, which means it would be pretty much a two-horse race, because that would ixnay any advantage that Yatsik has. So it's right now Yatek with advantage on strategy, Ward on advantage for leading the laps right now, but he has to have a caution, and right now Tommy Ryan does not want that caution.
Well,
and obviously neither does the Yatek.
Yeah, and Ward right now being very, very careful around the traffic, actually letting these guys get by. A little bit slower on track than he's been.
Those fresh tires are now no longer fresh.
Right, he was digging hard. So I'm wondering if the strategy is to bring it back in one more time for him here, as he has definitely slowed it down just a bit. I wonder if he comes in real quick here. Maybe takes right sides and just enough fuel to get it done.
Yeah, I have to imagine he's with the way this has worked out, he's going to have to go as long as possible. Right now, he still has Ryan a lap down, but Ryan is now just coming into turn number 3, and Jeff Ward is coming at turn number 4. Looks like Ward's coming in. Ward is coming in right now. This is the deciding factor.
Yep.
As Ward is in, he's going to get his final service. I want to point out, we've been talking about the chase here for the last several laps, but actually it looks like Jake Wright. Remember, Jake Wright came in the same time as Yatek did. In fact, right in front of Yatek. He looks to be on pace to win this thing. Right now, it's Jake Wright leading. J.D. Laird, who pit one lap later, is in second with Yatek in third. The question is, of those three, who's got a little bit more? It looks like Wright with the advantage, almost 3 seconds.
And Ward only took right sides. He's out now. Ward getting back up on the apron, making his way through turn 2. And here they come.
That's Tommy Ryan going by on the outside right there. So Ryan, 4th position, gets the outside done. Several other drivers are going to do as well, including Hightower.
Yes, Ryan is back on the lead lap now. Jeff Ward right behind him. Ward slotted back out into 10th, chasing Tommy Ryan. Let's see what Ward can do with 2 tires. Is it going to be enough?
Judging by the math, now remember, he's got 2 points only on Yatek. So if he can get to the back bumper of Yatek, or Yatek comes back to him, and he gets to the back bumper, that's enough. He's good there. Tommy Ryan now, just in front of him, he has the advantage on Ryan. He's got the advantage in points on Ryan. Even with the bonus points going to Ryan, perhaps, it's still okay. It's not going to be it. But right now, Yatek in third. That's enough of a gap. Ward's back to 9th. Right now, that is Yatek.
Boy, Jake Wright setting himself up really, really well to win this race right now. I talked about it just as we were getting ready to get started. Jake, may not be able to grab the championship, but he would sure love to take a win in this finale this evening. Right now, here's your lap bonus. It's Ward with 30 laps led, and wait a minute, hang on just a second. We're re-racking that. Yeah, yes, right. Ward 25 laps. Tommy Ryan 30 laps.
So the advantage is still in the pocket of Ryan. Now that's going to give him now only 4 down, but with only 1 spot in front of Ward, that puts him 3 down still as well. Still 15 laps to go. A caution ixnays everything. Remember, a caution comes out, and these guys are all on the same playing field. So right now, it's still all to play for. You can keep an eye on everybody. Hopefully they keep it clean.
Almost had a moment coming into 2. Calvin Filarski almost got into Tony Schowen, and they're still just messing with each other there on the track. Filarski going to cross him over and head to the inside as they come out. The leader right behind him. There's Jake Wright. These two are battling, and he's got that to look at. It's got to be exciting.
Yeah, exciting is one way to put it. He's actually losing a little bit of time with this action going on in front of him. It's not what he wants to see because he's actually losing a little bit to J.D. Laird. J.D. Laird, a few laps back, was 2.7 seconds. Now, just over 2 seconds. And with 15 laps to go, let's keep an eye on J.D. Laird. He's widening the gap behind him, and he's closing in for the lead. We could have a 2-horse race here by the end.
Very well could be. But man, Jake gotta feel just a little squirmy in the seat right now, watching this battle going on between Schowen and Filarski. Schowen moves right up in front of him, as they head down the back, and a little bit of bump drafting maybe going on there for Filarski. But that is a battle for position. That's a battle for 20.
If Yacek's got a spotter right now and the spotter's keeping an eye on that, it's not what he wants to see whatsoever, because he needs this thing to stay clean and green to the end. It is 1.8 seconds advantage right. Now you see Laird on screen and digging. Just behind him is Creer. Remember, Creer had that phenomenal save earlier. He's on a different strategy. He's not with these guys at the sharp end. He's actually driver first person 1 lap down. So yellow comes out. Creer's back in the game with that lucky dog. If it were to happen, 12 laps to go this time.
Had a car spinning coming into the pit lane and didn't quite see who it was. I missed it, but there was a car down there that had spun. Maybe that was John Wilco getting in there, possibly.
Yeah, and we actually see Wilco has disconnected as well, so his day is done if that was indeed him. We'll get a replay. Wilco, that's one way to come down pit lane, buddy. All kinds of sideways and hope caves. Just
Roger
a little
that.
bit hoot.
Wow.
10 to go, Sean. 10 to go. Jake Wright, your leader.
I know. I can't believe it. We just keep clipping off these laps. That's what happens when you don't have any yellow flags to work with. But Jake Wright, still the leader of this race. And you know what? I'll tell you what, JD got a lot of work to do, because he's back to just under 2 seconds. And now Jake's put a car between him. That's going to make it even a tougher ask to get done. Jake Wright is leading this race. Ever since that pit stop by Ward there, it's been easy pickings here for Jake Wright. Unfortunately, his championship hopes dashed last week. Oh no! Just up in front of Jake.
We got one car on the wall in
there.
the back straightaway right there in front of him. I don't think we're going to have a caution.
No caution at all, not yet. Is that Massey? Yes, I think
Massey
it's
again
Massey.
with issues. The 05. He's able to continue, but yeah, right in front of the leaders there. That was close moments.
Jake's thinking to himself, I just want this win, please. Just kindly get out of the way. Let me get through here.
That's exactly what happened last time. Is he just got up into the gray there, slid up into the track, and last time he spun, this time stayed up on the right-hand side of the road. No harm, no foul for everybody else, though. Clicking off laps again. We got Jake Wright coming around. It's going to be 7 to go this time. 7 laps to go in the season. 7 laps to go for Jake Wright in the win. 7 laps to go for Brian Yacek and a championship.
Yacek, a runner in many different series, and I know ever the bridesmaid it seems to be for him, but tonight, looking at a real chance to take a championship down. Jake Wright looking for a chance to win this race and maybe go home with just a little bit of a smirk on his face to take a win in this finale. But boy, what a great race this has been. And yeah, Yacek done a great job to put him. It's been strategy for Yacek, and it really worked out for him. And we got some help tonight without the caution. So, but here we go. Jake Wright now coming around, and when we go to the stripe next time, it's going to be 5 laps to go for a championship here in the Premier Racing League Grand National Series. Tonight, the AdvoCare We Build Champions 150. 5 to go this time by. Jake Wright, your leader.
5 to go for Jake Wright. We talked about Brian Yacek playing strategy with this thing. He might have been thinking about this since the very beginning and trying to make that happen, as he knew he had to come up from behind. Now remember, as soon as the different strategy of Ward happened, he knew he had to do something a little bit different. Remember, Ward stayed out. Again, in the wall right in front of him. I think it's Massey again. Massey again. This is the 3rd time for him. Come on, buddy. We got championships up in the grabs. Don't be making mistakes.
Yeah, and Jake Wright having a little bit of a fight up here himself.
4 laps. 4 laps. We're closing in on the end all. If we get a caution here soon.
He lets Creer by. Doesn't want to fight with him. Lets him by, but that does allow J.D. Laird to close up just a bit.
Look at the traffic in front of Wright here. We're now 1.5 seconds, 1.6 seconds advantage Wright. And Laird close in. They've been running very, very close at the same times. Look at how close those guys are fighting in front of him. 3 laps to go. Yacek
going to have to be careful back here.
I don't think there's anything. All the Yatsik has to do is keep it clean. Just make it to the end. There's nothing to race for, but just getting to the end.
Keep it pointed in the right direction, brother. That's all you got to do. Jake to the inside. Coming out of 4. Be 2 to go this time by.
He's hoping these guys don't race him too hard behind him. That is, I believe, Showan and Woodrow Mahan. Mahan to the inside is Showan. Now Mahan taking a look at the inside of right. Mahan must have fresher equipment as he comes off. Should be able to clear him. Well and done. Yes, he does. It's going to be Mahan going down at turn number 3. Jake Wright racing lap cars here at the end.
Oh boy, what this time by, we're going to have 1 lap to go. The white flag getting ready to come unfurled as they come across the stripe. Jake Wright, your leader, with 1 lap to go. The white flag is out.
Look, you see just coming into the picture. That was J.D. Laird, 2 cars back from Wright. I don't think he's going to be close enough. He's just a little bit back there. Coming out of turn number 2 is Yatsik. He's well and clean right now. But it's Jake Wright down the back straightaway. As we said before, didn't have a shot to get the championship done with an internet connection issue. But coming out for turn number 4, how about you finish the season with the win? Jake Wright, number 27.
Jake Wright, your big winner tonight in the AdvoCare. We built champions 150 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Second place going to go to J.D. Laird, and Brian Yazik going to come home third and unofficially going to be your champion. We're going to have to do some hard numbers, get the official call. But, boy, what a race. Ricky Harden going to come across 4th. Michael Krobach 5th. Those boys all finished with a pretty decent run tonight. Jake Wright, though, takes this race down with some good strategy and lots of speed. Had to race with some guys there at the end to get it done. But congratulations to Jake Wright here in the Premier Racing League Coastal Safety Auditors Grand National Series. Big win for him this evening. A great way to go out with hope toward next season and maybe another chance at a shot in the chase. That internet can be a very tricky thing, Smitty, and sometimes, it just doesn't work out for you. And yeah, a little side-by-side victory celebration there on track. A little respect there between Yazik and Jake. Jake pulls off and now lets Yazik do a little bit of celebrating down there in Victory Lane.
Well, I'll tell you what, you couldn't ask for a better season finale. It came down to strategy, the 55 there, Yatsik getting it done. And, man, so exciting. Phenomenal job.
All right, well, I'll tell you what. I need to catch my breath. I know you do too, Smitty. So why don't we run to a quick break here? We'll come back. We'll do the results for you here on the Global Sim Racing Channel with the Premier Racing League Grand National Series. Back in a moment. And welcome back to the season finale here in the Premier Racing League Grand National Series with the AdvoCare We Build Champions 150 live from Atlanta Motor Speedway. What a race tonight. 98 laps in the books that saw Jake Wright win this final race of the season. Doesn't get a championship, but he takes home the win tonight. J.D. Laird going to finish second. Brian Yazzie in third. The Blue Oval, third place tonight. Ricky Harden, fourth. Michael Krobach, great run for him, 35th tonight. Not 35th, but 5th. 6th for Troy Haight this evening. Jeff Ward going to finish 7th. Tommy Ryan in 8th. Jordan Hightower running up front there early in this race, but slips back and finishes 9th tonight. Alan Creer with a great drive this evening after having a little bit of trouble early. He's going to round out your top 10, Smitty.
Those top 10 guys finished on the lead lap, finishing 11th here. The number 1, Big Joe Hassert, 1 lap down. James Shipman in number 7. He actually started well back in the field, so nice job for him, finishing in 12th. Paul Pepper saw him with issues on pit road. He's actually in 13th at the end of the day. Gerald Livingston, 14th overall. James Krahula, the aforementioned issues on pit road, is the one that got him, unfortunately, after starting second. Has to settle for a 15th to end of the season. Chad Coleman, 16th overall. Dan Murray, also with issues on pit road, in 17th. Brandon Minnick in 18th. Calvin Filarski and Tony Schoen round out your top 20. Remember, those are the guys putting on a show right in front of our leaders at the end, Sean.
All right, let's take the rest of the field here real quick. That's going to be Woodrow Mahon, going to finish 21st tonight. Don Runkle, 22nd. Jeff Ryan, 23rd. Mark Nobert, 24th. Tom Amassi, 25th. Those guys finished the race. Now, John Wilco, not able to finish tonight. He'll finish 26th. 27th, going to go to Nick Thames. Randy Yoakum in 28th. And unfortunately, Drew Carroll never got started this evening. And that is the field. And tell you what, let's talk to the winner real quick before we get into the championship and that big celebration. But Jake Wright, welcome on in, my friend. Big winner tonight here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. I suspect that you've got a little bit of a grin on your face, short of the championship, but to finish on a win, not a bad deal, is it?
No, not at all. It feels good to win a finale. It sucks that we weren't in contention for the championship due to the last 2 races and having issues, but going out on a high note, feeling good going into next season.
You sound like you're in good spirits. I love to hear that, man. That's a good deal. Listen, one caution flag this evening. So talk a little bit about the strategy and what it took to put yourself in position there to get this win tonight.
Well, to be completely honest, I was winging it tonight. I saw the leader go in, so I followed, and it just happened to work out. And from there, we got enough fuel to make it to the end. We were hoping for no cautions, and finally, it worked in our favor. So. Just everything seemed to fall into place tonight. I couldn't be happier.
Now you had to fight a little bit there in those closing laps. You had some traffic to work with.
Yeah, there's some traffic, but I was watching the relative looking for JD, and I noticed the gap was what I thought was fairly large enough, so I didn't have to force anything. It was a little scary sitting back there, but it was nothing too bad. It was a good night.
Just another calm night at the office for Jake Wright, huh?
There you go. Yeah, calm night. We can say that.
All right, Jake. Well, congratulations on your big win, buddy. We look forward to seeing you back next season. Any big plans for the off season for you?
I would say just working on the car, getting ready for next season.
Getting ready for next season. All right, buddy. Hey, again, congratulations to you this evening. We will see you down the road, and let's take a moment for Smitty to catch up with J.D. Laird, talk about the great run he had this evening.
Indeed, I got J.D. Laird here. J.D., you got me?
Yes, sir.
All right, first up, I got to ask you, how do you think this thing was going to go? You practiced fast, you qualified fast, but you didn't start at the sharp end. How'd it go for you?
I didn't know what to expect as far as a race. With the way the setup was and the way the track was, it was pretty much locked down, pedal to the metal for a good portion of the run, so it could have gone either way. When the caution came out on around lap 5 or so, I figured, okay, we'll see if we can stretch it to about 32, 33 laps on fuel. And when people started ducking off around lap 25, I figured they're doing a 3-stop, and if I can get it to lap 38, I've already taken a stop out and I'm good to go because I was able to do 30 in practice. Got it to lap 38, pitted, and was able to chop out one full pit stop, and just didn't have enough pace at the end to get Jake.
I'll tell you what, you looked really, really strong earlier in the race, and not just when you were on fresh tires, but even when you were on the same with everybody else, like when it was you and Wright and Jacek all in the same strategy there, you were able to get off the corners, just seemed like a little bit better, like come off the center and get onto the back straight with a pretty good run. Is there a little something you found out there, or did you change your line a little bit as the tires wore out?
After pitting on 38, my big thing was to get it to lap 68, and I decided to not go full tilt at the beginning of the run. So I just mainly that was all just saving tires, backing myself up, and not worrying about everybody else. It's the goal to get to the second pit stop, and that's the only reason why I looked like I was a hero. Once Jake pitted at the end, I had to play catch up and burn my stuff up, but he had too much of a lead. It wasn't going to matter.
Well, and that's one of the questions I was going to ask you there. Both Jake and Brian undercut you by one lap there. Was that the deciding factor, or do you think if you had gotten a chance to pit before them, it might have been a little bit of a different story?
It was about a second of a lap difference. Like it didn't fall off that much. We would start the run at like a 29.0. It'd fall off to about 30.5, maybe if you burnt your tires off. And when they undercut me by 1 or 2 laps, I figured, well, no matter what, that's a lap or that's a second and a half. And I just kind of zoned out for a little bit and like, should I pit here? No, I went one more, and then I went one more, thinking they might not be able to make it. And when I pitted on 68, I saw I had like 3 or 4 laps left on fuel. I'm like, yeah, I lost it. Now I got to burn my tires off.
Well, I'll tell you what, anytime you go into the finale and you're just going for the W, you're not going for the championship, you're kind of the second card on the fight night, but you get put on a great show with Wright, and it was great to have you out here. Going to be seeing you full season next year?
Possibly. I'm not going to say full time because I might have some stuff that I need to do in DWC or Peak Antifreeze Series. I got to get politically correct with that. But you might see me run with these guys quite a bit next year.
Well, I can say that'd be a great sight. Then one more phenomenal shoe here. That was J.D. Laird's second place. Sean, I think you got a bit of an intro here, and we're going to move on to points.
Yeah, let's talk to James real quick here, the Grand Poobah of the Premier Racing League here. And James, let's kind of go over the points here real quick and start to put a bow on this. I think we're going to talk to to Jeff Ward real quick here in a moment, but set us up with the points.
Yep, we got the graphic up.
There we go.
All right. As you can see, we came into this race with the top 3, Brian Jacek, Jeff Ward, and Tommy Ryan, within 5 points of each other, and 3 completely different strategies here tonight. Brian Jacek made his work, pitting 1 less than everyone else, has had a fantastic season, and he will edge out Jeff Ward by the championship by 2 points, 7 over Tommy Ryan, and 21 points over Jake Wright, even with his win tonight. So Brian Jacek will be your champion.
As a league organizer, could you hope for anything better than that, for a championship to come that close there at the end?
And the good part is that these guys were able to go out and race for it. We didn't have, no one can look at this race and go, well, this happened or anything. These guys got to go out. They got to race over 100 miles towards the end, and they got to race it out. 3 different strategies. They got to run their race. They've gotten to run their race these last 3 races. They've all done a really great job. And to have 3 guys come down this close with good, solid green flag racing these last few weeks, it's been very exciting. And I'm couldn't be prouder of those 3.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to bring Jeff Ward here in the booth, and I want to talk to Jeff because, going into the night, he was leading this thing. And Jeff, any regrets now looking back on the race? What would you have done different, or did things just play out the way they did?
Well, we just really needed some cautions there. We was kind of the odd man out on that pit strategy. Tommy and them was pitting earlier than us, and then Brian was pitting later. So I think we were right in the middle, and they ended up costing us there in the end. That's never really been my strong suit, trying to play those strategy games. I just get in the thing and drive it, and usually can turn some pretty good laps. But when it comes down to strategy, I always end up making a bad call, it seems. So it costed us a lot this year. But congrats to Brian. He made the right call out there. He's real good at strategy, so it kind of played right in his wheelhouse. And congrats to Jake on the win. But it was a hard-fought season. It seems like me and Brian were going down to the wire pretty much the whole season. And hats off to him.
Jeff, you had an awful fast hot rod, but I got some good news for you coming from James here. You got 100% fuel and limited tires next year to work with, so maybe not have to worry about strategy as much. But again, talk about the fast car. I mean, when you got on those fresh tires, you were just consistently picking up ground on everybody, and nobody really had the pace you did on those fresh tires. Apparently, that was the type of run that you had maybe practiced for.
Yeah, that thing was on rails. I mean, I feel like I was the only one that was going up and trying the high line in 1 and 2 there, and was getting some pretty good runs off of 2. But like I said, we really needed a couple cautions to try to get everybody on the same strategy, and then I think we definitely had a top 3 car, if not the top car. So it just didn't play in our favor tonight. We'll definitely come back next year and try to come in with some momentum. I mean, second championship's pretty good. I'm a little bummed out, but looking at the big picture throughout the whole season, I think we was able to accomplish a lot.
Well, Jeff, we look forward to seeing you back next season. I'm sure James will scurry up some parting gifts for you somewhere, but we'll see you back on track next season. Congratulations on a great season, and hey, listen, the second place in the championship, not a bad deal. You'll be back in it next season and get a chance for that cup to rest in your team's hands.
Yep. Real quick, I want to say thanks to James and Ricky and the rest of the admins that run PRL. It's been an absolute blast. I look forward to running here, as long as possible. And thanks to you guys for doing all the broadcast, and Todd Kirkwood for putting his name on my car. And thanks for a great season.
All right, and thank you, Jeff. That was Jeff Ward, number 89. He finishes second in the points this season. Took a good stab at it this evening, but just can't quite pull it off. Well, I think it's about time to crown the champion here and let him have the cup and start drinking out of it and all that good stuff. Going to give it over to Ricky Harden and let him talk to Brian Yazik, and let's get this celebration underway.
Thank you, guys. First off, James and I want to thank DJ Beverly for stepping on board with Coastal Safety Auditors and being our entitlement sponsor this season. Brian Yazik, 3 wins, 16 top 5s, 23 top 10s, 2 poles, 382 laps led. He will receive a plaque to commemorate his accomplishment. On behalf of the Premier Racing League, Brian Yazik, you are our 2016 Premier Racing League Coastal Safety Auditors Grand National Series champion. Thank you for your dedication to our league, and congratulations.
Thank you. Oh man, thank you, Ricky. I got nothing else to say, man. That last, oh my God, I can't believe it. It's the greatest feeling.
Brian Yazik with nothing to say. Put it out, brother. I got to tell you, man, that was quite a race. It just kind of all fell into your hands there at the end, didn't it?
Yeah, that caution came out on lap 3, and this league has a tendency of running, green flag, and I thought, I could try something, but because we were getting 30, 31 on a tank of fuel, and then we pitted there, and I just kind of didn't even think about it until I started getting up to speed, and some of my telemetry was saying, hey, you can do this on 2 more stops, and I'm like, no way, I can't like there's no way it's going to happen. And then because I almost threw it away, I thought about short pitting to kind of play catch up with everybody else pitting, but it just kind of worked its way out. So that was, that was amazing.
Hey, Brian, Smitty here in the booth. Phenomenal job, bud. And we give you a hard time quite a bit. You came up bridesmaid quite a few times before you saw you get a W in this thing. Today, it looked like you didn't even really push for that win. It looked like it was strategy from the get-go after that pit stop. Were you keeping an eye on things, or did you ever try to go for the W, or was it all points racing all day?
I was trying to go for the win. I mean, I think you guys saw how we drove up there, after the pit stops, because I was thinking, when it boils into this sort of thing, it's, the only way to confirm and really kind of hold your own fate in your hand is to pull down a win. So yeah, we were going for it, but then I started thinking about it in that first run, and I thought, you know what, I don't have to win this thing. These guys are gonna take themselves out. And I thought Jeff, first of all, shout out to Jeff Ward. He kept me honest all year. He's a hell of a competitor. I don't even know. He should probably be up here celebrating this damn thing. I feel like I stole one, but no. And he pitted early, and then he pitted early again, and I thought, oh my God, this is gonna work out. And I had my buddy Michael Krobach. We had a channel going, and he kept telling, like, the last 30 laps, he was feeding me information and just kind of telling me to keep calm. And because I'll admit, I came into tonight and I had a pretty crappy attitude and just one of those days, at the office and in life. And, I didn't come in the right mentality, but, yeah, you put, get sitting down behind the wheel and magic can happen.
Well, there's going to be a party in Michigan tonight, but before you fill that cup with anything, you're going to need to fill something else. I think you're going to do a shoey for us this evening. You're going to get the shoe out, maybe drink from that first, catch it on video for us.
I might do a shoey. I don't know. It's late. I got to be up early for work, but we'll figure something out. Oh my God, this is great.
I've never known you to be very speechless. I'm happy to see you win it, Brian. Great job this evening. Great job this season. It's always fun to get that championship. I know you had some tough luck last week in the IROC series. You run so many series, hard to keep track of them all, but you wound up finishing second there. It's got to feel extra special to win it here tonight.
It does. I mean, it really does feel nice to bring home a championship. You set out all year long and think you have a shot at it, and we ran Dover, one of the first rounds in the chase, and I ended up in the fence, and I thought, crap, it's just, it's all going to kind of come down to knot and things like that, but we just kept at it. I mean, there was just no. It seemed like when you wanted to count us down, we rose back up, and got back through it. Man, I was watching Jeff and that whole run, and I was trying to keep him behind me in points. I kind of knew where they stood. I knew the only thing that I feared was that he led the most laps. But I knew I had to beat him by at least 4 spots and then kind of let everything else cycle itself out from there. But oh God, this is amazing. It's just amazing. I know it's a simulator. I know it's a game on a computer, and some people out there might not understand it, but I live for this stuff. To finally get one down, it's awesome. I gotta thank HPP Simulation, Mark. His family's had a trying year. This one's for Ron. I didn't get a chance to get one last week, so this goes out to all the Hargett family and every and for the year that they've had. James and Ricky and everybody else putting on the Premier Racing League. You guys for broadcasting it. I mean, I got so many people I could thank, but it's just one of those situations I'm just going to forget. And I should have had a list in front of me or something like that. I'm just sorry I'm rambling. It's just one of those
That's
deals.
all right, buddy. We certainly want to second those sentiments as well. It's been fun watching you along the way here. And listen, you get a championship for the Blue Oval, the Michigan driver. gets a championship for the Blue Oval this season, and that's a little bit special too. But let's talk to James real quick. James, what a season here in the Premier Racing League and the Grand National Series, and a culmination of all that effort ends this evening with this great race, the AdvoCare We Build Champions 150 this evening. What a season you brought us. Thank you so much, my friend.
This has been pretty good so far. Great racing here for AdvoCare We Build Champions Week. With Scott Eckeridge taking home the championship last night. He's racing for it again tomorrow night. Brian Yatsik in an incredibly close race, taking home the championship tonight. Very deserving to him. And Jeff Ward, Tommy Ryan, and Jake Wright, all of those guys ran one heck of a season. They should all be proud of themselves. This was an amazing battle. We're excited to go to segments and a full season champion next year. No more chase. So we're gonna definitely change it up a little bit. We're moving to the Tuesday nights. Sadly, won't not be on here with you guys as much. Our truck series will be on more, and of course our Cup series as well. But Sim Racing Apps is first off coming on as our title sponsor of the Grand National Series next year. So we'll have the Premier Racing League Sim Racing Apps Grand National Series on Tuesday nights next year. And we will be running a free season, the series again for free. And also another really cool thing too is that with the help of Sim Racing Apps and also with Scott Eckeridge as well, these guys are developing a telemetry that will allow us to track how many tires that people take throughout the event, to where we'll be able to check, and we will have limited tires next year, just like they do in the real life truck and Grand National Series. So we're really excited to test that this off season and see what type of racing that produces next year. But if these guys show up again, I'm sure it's going to be pretty fun to watch.
And if anybody wants to get information about this great league, you can find it at www.premierracingleague.com. Or just Google it, man. Premier Racing League. They're easy to find. They're all over the place. 3 great series going, and got a little off-season
four next
fun.
year.
I'm sorry, 4 series. And
we do. We are adding in the V8 Supercar Series next year on Sundays.
That's I might be joining you for those if I can find a spot there. I love the V8 Supercar. So some exciting things to come indeed. And again, thanks to you and Ricky and the whole group there at the Premier Racing League. But it's time to wrap this thing up here this evening, Smitty. And I'll tell you what, we saw a great one this evening, but lots of people to thank. We would like to thank, of course, the Premier Racing League, the Coastal Safety Auditors Grand National Series for coming on tonight and putting on this just a wonderful show for this championship. We'd also like to thank the makers, the various software and hardware that you can see on your screen now. Thanks to Dougie Beard, Joe Peak, my buddy Michael Smith. Smitty, what a great evening. A lot of fun with you, my friend, for their hard work this evening. If you'd like to find out more about the Global Sim Racing Channel, go to globalsimracingchannel.com. Check us out. You can also join us on Twitter at GSR Channel and on Facebook /Global Sim Racing Channel. Really easy to find us. I also want to thank Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde for providing us with the music. You can check out how to get a hold of them on screen. Now, a reminder, tomorrow night, and this all comes, the beer comes to a head tomorrow night, okay? We get this thing done back at Atlanta, starting at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the AdvoCare Cup Series finale here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. But until then, race I'm sorry, but until then, race clean, race hard, and I'll see you on the track.